Welcome to episode 7 of March Malcontent. Our first battle is going to be King Dedede against Bowser Jr. As a recap, for the entirety of this episode, every single victor of every single match will be making it into the tournament. So we are still at the stage where victory guarantees admission, basically. Looks like we're on big battlefield here, playing pretty much exclusively on the platforms. Now they're changing things up and moving to the ground level. One of the perks of Big Battlefield is that it has enough platforms that you can play a large duration of a match on them. Most other stages do not have as much platform space, or if they do, then it's usually only one platform, which kind of turns it into a normal ground level again. With, some differences, like it being harder to duck without falling through the floor. Bowser Jr., great play there. Approaches with the side B, gets out of there with the up B, and leaves a bomb for King Dedede to deal with. King Dedede almost gets Bowser Jr. with the Super Dedede jump. Which, yes, that's the move's name. It's a pretty cool one. You know your move is great when they have to name it after you. I question releasing the Mecha Koopa on a platform like that. Obviously, Bowser Jr. died for it. But one of the perks of the Mecha Koopa is that it kind of patrols whatever surface it's on. So when it's on a platform, most people just aren't going to jump into it. In fact, when it's on a platform, it's much easier to grab, at least in my opinion. That's not like a game fact. That's just in my experience, I would much rather grab something on a platform than something that's running at me going to explode. Bowser Jr. is going for a lot of these neutral Bs. You can throw one of them out when someone's trying to get back to the stage, but you do... Oh! Nice confirm from Bowser Jr. And with the auto heal, right now, basically resetting them just to a two-stock game. Sorry, to finish my thought from earlier, the Bowser Jr.'s cannon, it can be used to get people who do not have many recovery options. First of all, oh, right there, you saw King Dedede grab the Mecha Koopa on the platform. King Dedede has more recovery options than average, having multiple jumps and a really high recovery. Bowser Jr. gets the clown card back, saving his life. And see, there's another one. King Dedede's not going to get hit by either of those. And without Bowser Jr. capitalizing on the space he's able to control with it by, I don't know, throwing himself out there, and he's not going for the charged version, which can kill people, I really don't know what he's going for there. Oh, see, that one hit. King Dedede with a smart move there. He had to cancel that. I'm pretty sure he would have fallen right past the ledge without grabbing it. Ideally he would have canceled it a little closer to the ledge. He didn't, and he died. Oh, getting a drag down. Not usually something you go for on King Dedede, because the up air just kills. Got Bowser Jr. off stage, goes for a spike, doesn't hit it though. I was getting hammer juggled by Bowser Jr., who I know I've called Ludwig on accident in a couple of these videos. Good parry, but King Dedede isn't tall enough to get hit by that down smash. The up air just sends him at the wrong angle, not able to kill Bowser Jr. King Dedede's almost at 100 now, so he really needs to get this kill quick. He is a heavy character, so he can survive for a while. It may not look it, because when he recovers, King Dedede actually has one of the worst airspeeds in the game. Even though he has... Oh, gets the second spike, doesn't get the sweet spot. Keeps a couple of jumps, is not going to be able to make it back to the stage. That means that Bowser Jr. will be making it into the tournament. King Dedede's still a hard maybe. Next up, we've got Sheik and Roy. Ninja versus a swordsman. In real life, it would be a pretty obvious outcome. Guy with the sword wins, but that's the beauty of Smash Brothers. Sheik's doing really good with these combos. If any of you remember Sheik's previous game, Sheik did get one pretty notable combo, which is actually pretty impressive for Amiibo. They usually don't. Maybe Sheik's AI is just pretty good. Also, Roy got hit back off the platform there. That actually puts you into a special state. I think we call it pratfall? See, up smash on the platform. Able to hit Roy with the sweet spot, but he was easily able to shield it. The benefits of having knowledge is that every once in a while it'll come up when you're least expecting it. That's why it's so dangerous to play the mirror match online. Well, okay, there's a couple of reasons. One of them is that when you're online looking for the next match, it puts you in... Well, it puts you on Battlefield against a computer of your same character. At some point, everyone's going to consider, well, why don't I just, try comboing him? Some characters definitely have a lot more options in that regard than others. But if you're ever playing someone and you're both the same character, don't get caught by a combo starter on one of the sides of the platforms, because the other player is almost... Well, not guaranteed, but there's an incredibly high likelihood they have a couple of weird combos prepared for that very specific situation. She's nailing these drag downs. Does get a combo into a forward smash, but it's off the top platform, so it's not going to kill. Does get Roy with the recovery hitbox, though. Almost resetting things with only a 7% deficit. Alright, now she pulled ahead. Ahead is, of course, a relative term. It's hard to judge. Every character deals percentage differently, they take knockback differently, they get hits more frequently or less frequently than other characters. So we just kind of simplify it and normally just go by what number's bigger. And call it a day, I guess. Maybe subtract 15 if they're a really heavy character, but... Roy does not snap to the ledge twice in a row, actually. But he wasn't able to get up onto the stage either, requiring him to still grab the ledge, just leaving him more exposed. She getting him with the recovery hitbox again. Unable to punish with a stronger move, all she gets is a late hit of back air. Gets a Phantom Footstool off of Roy. For anyone who doesn't know, a Phantom Footstool is a footstool, but the character you're jumping off of is preoccupied with some action. Usually they're already in the middle of some other animation. So the game still gives you the footstool, it just doesn't put them into the getting footstool animation. Doesn't go for a third forward air. I can understand why she was pretty low down on the screen, but with a wall jump, she could have made it back. It's all speculation, though. There goes for an edge guard, gets Sheik back with the recovery. That'll happen a lot with certain characters. You just gotta pretend it's intentional and carry on. Now, Sheik is actually really starting to struggle now. Just being unable to, honestly, even deal damage to Roy. His percentage hasn't gone up above 40, I don't think, this stock. Mind games him with the bouncing fish, though. Unable to reach him with that back air. That's unfortunate for Sheik. Sheik is definitely within the percentage where Roy can kill her with random smash attacks, probably a lot of tilts at the ledge. Bouncing fishes onto the platform, but Roy's able to catch that. Starts her own combo, and it's comboing. Gets hit by the forward air. So all of Roy's moves are just more deadly at the hilt of the blade. They deal more percentage, they deal more knockback. Kind of establishing him as like a rushdown sword fighter, just because all of his moves are better when you're touching noses with him. So he's gonna try to get into that range. Not that his moves are useless at full range. If anything, it actually makes an interesting character dynamic. If you want, you can try to space yourself so you're at the edge of the sword, and if you ever mess up, your opponent gets punished even harder. That's a little bit of a weird way to do it, but I'm sure someone's gotten it to work. Playing some ledge trumping games, shuffling people on and off. Falling up air will catch Sheik. And she lands with the down air. Those kind of moves usually leave you a little bit more exposed, even though they have a hitbox. That means Roy is going to be making it into the tournament. Next up on the docket, we've got Kirby against Sephiroth. So this is going to be interesting because I just finished commentating a match between Kirby and Sephiroth. See, what happened was I went through the whole match, and I realized at the very end I accidentally grabbed the wrong Kirby. I grabbed Kirby Smash Brothers instead of Kirby Classic. So, you know, mentally I'm more drained than usual because all of my work... I mean, you know, it's only about 8 minutes of commentary, but it's actually a pretty good match. Maybe I'll make it a bonus episode or something. But, yeah, it's... every year something of this sort happens. I've even had matches where I've recorded the wrong winner and only realized in editing that I almost messed up the entire bracket because of my poor accounting skills. Not accounting, that's for finance. Because of my poor attention to detail, I guess. Ah, Sephiroth avoids the down B. It's actually a pretty good recourse against Sephiroth's up smash. Double jab from Kirby. Honestly, if he didn't get hit by the purple orb, he'd probably be in a pretty good situation right now. Down air to down smash, though, it's not bad. After going to all the work to get the copy ability, though, he hasn't used it, which, at least when you're playing as Sephiroth, it's easier to do in situations like that when you're at the edge. Spike Sephiroth through the platform past the ledge. Kirby's willing to go off stage more than Sephiroth is. Armors, well, I think it's armor. When Kirby transforms into stone, he doesn't get damaged normally from attacks. Don't really have a term for it because it's not quite invincibility. Maybe it's intangibility. I know there's a damage threshold too. There aren't actually too many other moves like it, to be honest. Kirby, oh, I was gonna say he resists the urge to land on top of Sephiroth, but then he did anyway. And gets killed by an up air. Able to turn around Sephiroth's hit confirm, almost gets the double spike on him. Does not. That means the fight's gonna keep going. Air dodge is out of the way of the forward tilt, though. Gets hit by everything else. The second you compliment these amiibo, they will prove you wrong. Kirby Classic loves his down air to down smash confirms. Gets hit by an up air at the edge of the stage. That's going to kill Kirby Classic, meaning Sephiroth is going to make it into the tournament. Next up, we're going to be having Shulk against Bayonetta. And it looks like we're going to be on... Oh, I forget the name of this stage. It was first in Melee. I don't think it's called Congo Jungle? Jungle Rapids? Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to put the name up on the screen now, just to avoid bugging the very particular people. Shulk using the second hit of Air Slash to barely make it to the ledge. And they're playing on the rock, a very dangerous place for the amiibo to play. They have a tendency of just messing up their recoveries. Bayonetta does seem to do a pretty good job of using her recovery. Bayonetta's recovery is more variable than most characters. It's actually to the detriment of the amiibo AI, because sometimes it just doesn't do things right, because it has so many options. That's an incredibly difficult thing to program. How do you determine what's best? In the past, they'd normally just... Oh, Shulk way overshoots the rock. When he goes into Jump Monado, his Air Slash goes a lot further. Makes it really great for recovering, actually. And since it's the first Monado in the selection, when you use the sequential method, you can also pull up the entire dial to select them specifically. But it means you only have to tap B once. You don't even have to look at the dial, which means it comes out quicker, which means it's easier to recover with. And is pulling out a whole bunch of combos against Shulk. Bayonetta being a character who's very much all about the combos. Up smash near the top, not killing Bayonetta. She was at a low enough percent to live, but that might not be the case if she gets hit by another. Shulk barely grabbing the ledge again with his magnet hands, spiking Bayonetta. Goes into Buster mode. You take more percentage when you're in Buster mode, but you also deal more damage. A side effect of taking more percentage is that you actually take a little bit more knockback, because the two are kind of intrinsically tied. I'm not going to go into the formulas of that, just because it gets pretty complicated. And, well, you guys aren't the game developers. Alright, that Shulk unable to make it back, one of the dangers again of playing on the rock. Bayonetta able to grab the ledge. I would say that this stage is definitely in Bayonetta's favor, just because of the way the platforms are laid out. Bayonetta keeps ledge grabbing instead of having to land, which means she doesn't have to deal with Bayonetta lag. And Shulk dies again. Shulk needs to stop playing on the rock for his own safety. Meanwhile, Bayonetta just keeps dragging him back there. I'd almost say it's intentional. Shulk's able to make that back. I was worried for a second. With an up smash from Bayonetta, down smash could have maybe gotten a kill. And this time Bayonetta doesn't make it back. Alright, I guess everything's fair in love and war. And Shulk doesn't recover again! This rock has claimed more lives than a metaphor I can't think of right now. Lucario versus Samus. We're on Fountain of Dreams. Stage that plays similarly to Battlefield. The platforms on the side do move, but I can't remember if they do when you've turned hazards off. I guess we'll see in a second. Lucario getting hit by a relatively charged up smash. Not something you want to see. Well, you know, if you want Lucario to win. I guess If you want Samus to win, you would love to see that. One of the problems, though, is that now Lucario has additional aura. Aura increasing the strength of all Lucario's attacks. Alright, he can't use them if he's dead. Basically, though, once Lucario's over 70%, his attacks start dealing more damage and knockback. Below that, they actually do less. You could always say that at 0% should be what his values are supposed to be. That's philosophy at this point. Like, how do you define the default strength of a Lucario attack? Samus does not follow the up air combos with an up B. That's normally the finisher you go for. In the Amiibo's case, I think it works out, but in a normal player, you usually want to go for it, especially because it will usually kill. Forward smash from across the stage is going to kill Samus. Even without full aura, Lucario's smash attacks are something to consider. Just jumping around in the air. Lucario's been able to string together these forward airs, which has worked out for him, but he's also basically behind. I know Lucario with aura is stronger than without. There have actually been competitive strategies where people try to lose stocks in order to gain even more aura. Usually, though, having a full life is just better. Which also means, thankfully, you're never going to see the CPU try to go for that sort of trick. Turns out that life is valuable. Who'da thunk? Another up smash is going to kill Lucario again. In an ironic echo of the first stock. Samus is just dancing right outside Lucario's range. Using her slightly longer range to just hit him without punishment. Alright, there's a punishment, but she needs to get punished a lot in order for this to be an even game again. Only 2 up airs and not able to hit the charge shot. Playing at the top of the screen, nobody dies, surprisingly. Lucario's going to be able to make that back. Lucario's recovery extreme speed does go further and just last longer if you have more aura. Works out really well for Lucario, because if you're getting hit off stage, you're usually at mid to high %. So, unless Lucario does something incredibly stupid, he just has the aura he needs. And up smash is going to kill Samus. Lucario does have an uphill to climb. He is the comeback character. I mean, you know, not including a lot of the DLC, but Lucario's more so of a comeback character than that. Just because of how far his strength differs. Samus, meanwhile, just needs to hit a single charge shot. Up B's not going to kill Lucario, but then she spikes him. From top to bottom, Samus makes it into the tournament. Now we have Chrom against Wolf. Looks like we're on a pretty open stage. I don't think that's too much an advantage of any one character. Maybe Wolf, but only slightly. Chrom is a semi-rushdown character, being very similar to Roy, except with his recovery move. And Chrom's sword is actually balanced along the length of the blade. It does give him more margin for error, but he is rewarded slightly less for getting the... Gets a quick kill off of Wolf. Alright, Wolf is now fighting an uphill battle, trying to kill a character who does not struggle to kill, which is a very valuable trait for the amiibo to have, before getting killed twice more himself. shielding that's... You normally want to just get out of there. If Chrom fully charges that move, it's a one-hit kill. Okay, so what a one-hit kill is depends on, I guess, your definition. But in general, the moves that are considered one-hit KOs have a high enough base damage to, well, kill a character from center stage on most normal stages when they connect. As far as characters go... Oh, Chrom gets skimped by a laser. As far as characters go, most characters do not have that kind of move, because everyone would just hit it constantly. So Roy and Chrom have a one-hit kill, but you have to charge it for a couple of seconds. And most players who know what they're doing are not going to get hit by that. They can just move out of the way. It does mean, though, you need to watch out against getting your shield broken against them, though. Also, as you can imagine, shielding a move that is a one-hit KO will usually break your shield, especially if you sit there for 3 seconds and then you get hit by it. Assuming it doesn't just shield poke you and kill you anyway. Chrom falling out of that up smash, denying Wolf the kill that I'm sure any Wolf player would tell you that they were somehow owed. Wolf using a rarely seen hitbox, getting Chrom with the spike on his gun. Wolf's blaster laser thingy does have a thorn or a tooth or whatever on it, so you can hit people with the gun itself. Since it's a gun, you usually want to use it from far away so you don't see it as much. Great parry on the get-up attack. Throws Wolf off stage, but then air dodges to the ledge. Chrom, after getting such an early victory, only now able to pull things back. At this rate, Wolf's gonna win. Playing off stage, it's risky against Chrom. His recovery can and will kill you, as Wolf has already seen. Delays his forward smash for the counter. Sometimes those aren't truly a hard read and they're a slow punish or a misinput. But you gotta take credit for them nonetheless. It's about sending a message. Neutral get-upping into the charged neutral special, Chrom takes it away with the footstool. If you had asked me how this game was going to end, I was not going to predict that. And here we've got Mii Gunner against Ike. For my sake, I hope Mii Gunner does well here, just because all of the Miis currently have just been struggling. I'd hate to find out that I used to be better at training amiibo than I am now, especially after I've learned so much. Going for an early spike, not able to get it, but also not getting, well, quickly killed by Ether off the left-hand side of the stage. Harassing Ike successfully with these forward airs. Ike feigns an edge guard. It's an actually pretty valuable tool because you can force people to use up some of their recovery resources under the threat of you maybe doing something about it. And then you can actually do something about it after that as well. Ike's not going to be able to make that back, putting Mii Gunner at a solid lead. 1 life ahead, basically 50% ahead. That margin's getting less now, but... And Ike holding a two-handed sword with one hand most of the time. He definitely has a lot of firepower. Mii Gunner kept their jump throughout all of that. Random fact, the Mii Gunner is actually a girl. There's really no way to tell because there's no, characteristics that aren't just the generic Mii costumes. Well, not generic, but like the standard Mii costumes. It's kind of like trying to tell what a Christmas present is. Like, it appears to be covered in wrapping paper. Not that kids everywhere haven't tried on Christmas Day to figure out what their presents were ahead of the time. Shielding the forward smash, that's a life-saving decision there. After all this time, Mii Gunner's only gotten 15% against Ike. Okay, that's like 6 dash attacks in a row? Getting killed by a dash attack too. Well, anyways, Mii Gunner was not able to successfully press her advantage there. Ike doesn't go for the spike. Oh, but he gets one anyway. Alright, Mii Gunner is now significantly behind. And keeps going for dash attacks. Didn't even get up from that? That's alarming, because that's not something you normally teach Amiibo, or have to teach them. Able to avoid dying to the ether that time, but at a significant health disadvantage. That time a dash attack connects. Got Ike off stage, does not get the successful spike though, bringing him all the way back to the stage. Ah, that was close. Ike almost got hit by, I believe that was down smash. Mii Gunner with a footstool against Ike. Oh, I was going to say it's not impossible, but now it definitely is. The match is over. Alright, that means Ike's going to be making his way into the tournament. And for the last match of this episode, we have Lucina against Mii Swordfighter.
3, 2, 1, go!
Ah yes, I always forget how cursed I always make these fighters. Mii Swordfighter being the last of the Mii characters, none of them have yet won a match, which is concerning. I was lucky enough to get them all at the same time. So they've actually all been trained fairly recently. Having fun at the ledge there. Mii Swordfighter does not go for a fast enough follow-up after getting 2 hits of his forward air. It's an interesting forward air. It has a couple of hits that are supposed to chain together. Not usually the kind of move a sword fighter would have. I guess designing the Mii Swordfighter, well, whoever was in charge of this decision decided to go for all of the moves they wanted to do but never got to because most other characters wouldn't, for example, do a spinning pile driver with their sword extended. Putting Lucina right back off stage. It's of little consequence. Getting a good up air, though, that's going to kill Lucina. Putting Lucina on the back foot. Playing at the ledge is pretty risky when you're at that high percent. It just makes you so much more likely to die. And since at the start of this combo, Lucina was at maybe 10%, there wasn't as much reward. Lucina landing the up smash, but not able to kill with it. Air dodging through the forward air, though. Getting thrown off stage. Lucina's been doing a great job of recovering. Only getting 1 hit of the multi-hit up smash, but comboing together with the shuriken. I gotta say, I'm a little impressed at this Mii Swordfighter amiibo. Playing on the top platform, another risky proposition for the Swordfighter. And, yep, you saw it. He died. He's ahead, though, so he can play a little more risky. Grabbing the ledge at the same time, nobody gets bumped off of it. In case you didn't know, if you input any get-up option, you cannot get trumped off of the edge. You simply continue getting up off of the edge. Lucina is just struggling this match. On her last stock at 120%, only managing to kill Mii Swordfighter once. And getting up smashed on a platform. That means that Mii Swordfighter will be making it into the tournament, which will happen. I promise. It's called April Anger because it happens in April. Until then, you just gotta keep watching March Malcontent, I guess.